Yuma Siri. You're welcome to my space. If this is your first time ever, you're welcome. Today, we're talking about $1 million mindset to build $1 million business. And I want to welcome those on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, and also to my crew here on Clubhouse. And I want to welcome Mr. Kenny to the stage. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll get started with today's topic. Kenny.
Pleasant good morning, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kenny Lewis. I'm president of Lewis Global Holdings. We are a logistics services company based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I'm very glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Chrissy, I see you today. We have some, should I say we're growing a community. Now I know people. Chrissy, you're welcome to join us as well. Today's topic is going to be hot. Okay. We're talking about $1 million mindsets to build $1 million business. And then I will share my experience, what I've seen in terms of mindset differences in terms of the top 1% millionaires, exceptionally wealthy people that I have interacted with, that I do work with. And guys, there's a lot of difference in terms of those who are building wealth and, attaining power and influence. I'll share a few things that I've observed today. So, Miss Chrissy, good to see you. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Happy Thursday.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Thursday.
And hey, Kenny. I wanted to say hey to Kenny being from Philly. I'm in Philly as well.
Yeah, we
So
can't hear
happy
you
New Year.
loud. It's not loud today. I don't know why.
Uh-oh. Is this better?
A little bit, but yeah, I can hear you a little bit. But in the past, your volume has been a lot more higher. So, how are you today? How's the week been? You've been with us all week, I believe.
I've been with you for 2 weeks just about, and I've listened to the replays to make sure I understood what was
Thank you,
going on.
thank you so much.
Today's been really I'm excited about today. I love the order and the explanations in all of your rooms. So I'm going to be running around. I can't always unmic for the next hour, but I'm here and I'm present.
Yay! Thank you.
Local.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. Thank you. You guys, you keep me going forward, right? Like when I see people in terms of really interested in what I'm sharing, I'm like, okay, let me keep going, right? So today is around $1 million mindset. Here's the key. The major difference between what you and I are doing, right? And what the rest of the world are doing is actually what you know or what you don't know. Knowledge. And the Bible called it out. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Now, all knowledge is not equal. The knowledge you need to build a multi-million dollar business or a $1 billion business versus a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, the knowledge you need in terms of how it is done is different. That's the first thing I want to share today. Knowledge is the first thing. If you're going with common knowledge, meaning everything that everybody else, an average person in the world, has, and we started that conversation yesterday around the importance of education, right? And in fact, this morning I put a poll out on my LinkedIn, and I also posted a picture of it on Instagram. And I asked this question: do millionaires read more than non-millionaires? The poll is still out there. I'm still watching so far. I'm watching who is leading. I already know the answer based on my observation. The answer, my own answer, is yes. Millionaires read more than non-millionaires that I have interacted with. They are studious. They study, they read. They are the ones, subscribe to Harvard Business Review, Fortune Magazine, Fast Company. Every single day, they're the ones, all of these subscription to deep research, deep business data. Every single day, they're the ones you find there, right? The common newspaper, your local TV, your local does not have what will help you build a multi-million dollar business. It doesn't. If you are reading the same news that everybody is reading, if the information you have access to is the same information everybody is having, you will get the similar outcome. That's the first thing. Those who want to build multi-million dollar business, they pull themselves away from common knowledge. They're like, common knowledge, common life, common knowledge, common results. If you look around you and everybody around you is doing the same thing, it's because you're all living out of the information available in your community. That's why the tendency is, if one person starts a certain type of business in a community, everybody jumps into that business as well. We learn from one another. Let me stop there and just get some reactions on Clubhouse. Kenny, anything you want to share there? Any reactions?
Well, it's critical to make sure as you're building your business, you hire the right people. A lot of times we choose to hire our friends and family thinking that they are a good addition to our companies, our new businesses, but it is not the right strategy to do that. We should hire people that are able to push us as CEOs, we're able to hire people.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Some juice.
I know. I have my water here.
We have to hire people that are able to push our businesses to the next level. It's very, very critical in us making those steps and making sure that these people have more experience than us in their specific fields. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for that. But here's the key. The first hire in your business is you. And you tend to attract people like you. In fact, this is what I found, is that most people you're going to attract to yourself, if you're not careful, this is why when you're doing HR and you're hiring people, right, you have to watch out for this. We tend to hire people that think and look and behave like us. It's a known phenomenon, right? So that's why they usually say disrupt yourself. Be aware of, be conscious that that's the default. We tend to attract and hire people that would say yes, 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 agree with us. That's why the most savvy people, right, executives, being aware of that fact, they tend to bring in other knowledge experts, and they try to differentiate. They try to bring in different people that can challenge them, that can call them out, that can introduce new knowledge. So that's the ideal. But the default is, without understanding this fact, the default is we attract people like us. People that we think alike, we see the world the same way, we behave similarly. And we like because we like ourselves. I like me. So I'm going to like anybody that looks and behaves and sounds like me. It is a known phenomenon. I'm just saying, be aware. Okay, just be aware about it. But the first employee, the first hire of any new business, it's you. So it's still back to $1 million mindset, the personal responsibility to make sure, if your desire is to create $1 million business, invest in yourself to make sure you're reading, you're studying, you're understanding. So for example, if you would like to go into the real estate industry, if you have that desire, what do you know about the industry? Research, deep research, right? Understanding where do they congregate? The people in that industry, what conferences do they go into? Where are they talking? Where are they meeting? You have to insert yourself there. Right? And here's the most unfortunate thing that I'm seeing today, and I really want us to dive into this. Collectively, social media, collectively, this is me, Toyin, speaking, what I've observed, and I want people to challenge me or educate me on this. Collectively, I believe, and I'm seeing that social media is dumbing us down. Like, social media is conditioning us to not do deep research, to not investigate knowledge anymore. They are conditioning us to believe the crumbs that people are dropping out there will help us build multi-million-dollar business. Is that true or not? It's a conditioning, and it's extremely dangerous. It's extremely dangerous, Because when I say, if you come into any of my spaces, International Trade Network or Business and Leadership Academy, you will read. You will read, you will study, you study to show yourself approved. You will consume information, because the repository of information that we have, that I have, the knowledge that I have from World Bank to African Union to US government, I'm realizing that people are not conditioned to digest that volume of knowledge. Why? Yes, you want to invest. Yes, you want to build a business. You cannot read. I'm sorry, guys. These are the things I'm observing, and I'm saying, please help me. What's going on, guys? Volume knowledge is required to build multi-million-dollar business. Like I am telling you out there. I am telling you, you will go to school of multi-million-dollar building business. You have to, if this is a goal. Because the common knowledge, everything you're seeing on social media, they are just crumbs. They won't lead you. That's why even I developed the roadmap, is that you want to scale your business. But before you scale, you will complete templates. You will do serious research. Unfortunately, I'm realizing that social media is creating a culture collectively where many people are being tricked to believe that if you spend your entire year on Clubhouse or on any of the social media platform, you're going to wake up December 31st and then your business, your multi-million-dollar business will be ready to go. Ouch. Right? Because if it were true, everybody on social should be. In fact, do you know what I've seen is most of the multi-million-dollar people I know that run business, they're not on social media. Some of them don't have any user ID. You won't find them on social media. They're not there. They're not. I know someone that only checks his email once a week. I'm telling you, there's another world out there. But if you're not exposed to this world, if you're not aware, if you're not sitting at the feet of those people, you don't know the lifestyle they're living. You don't know what it is they're doing. You don't know what books they're reading. You don't know what they're consuming. They are reading a lot. They spend most of their time doing deep research and reading every single day more than the average person. That's what my observation has been. And because of that, their performance is next level. Next level. They are using that knowledge to push themselves up the chain. That's what I know. So if I host summits, international summits, and we bring this knowledge, usually it's heavy. The knowledge that we have is heavy. If the World Bank chief economist on Africa comes, is the data points? If United Nations presenter comes to my event, like that data is so heavy. Even for me, I have a first degree in mathematics. The graphs, it's heavy stuff. And I'm realizing that people are being conditioned to believe that work, they don't have to do that work. And that is scary. It really scares me. So please, who is ready to react to this? Because I need somebody to help me understand why people believe that if you spend your entire year on social media, you wake up December 31st and you're no, it doesn't work that way at all. It's a dangerous ploy. Go on, Kenny.
Thank you. Well, I noticed I was invited to Clubhouse 3 times and I turned it down because I felt oversaturated in social media.
Okay.
When I got onto Clubhouse, I had to find my way in terms of what was the point of being on this media for 3-4 hours.
Ooh.
Then I found the African rooms. I found the rooms talking about invest, and I found the rooms that were about prayer, right? Because I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized, as I observed other rooms that had 200 and 400 people in there, it was almost like a gossip column. It's almost like we're back in high school, debating about who really kissed the cheerleader and who's the best, athlete in school. No one was really talking and giving value towards sensitive conversation that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to filter my way down to rooms like yours and other rooms with Marie that we talk about progressive actions and how to build up ourselves, our businesses, and also collaboration. So at the end of the day, it is an attention grabber. So on here, I want to be in a room with 400 or 500 people. I want to insult others and make them feel less than because I'm worth X amount of dollars. And at the end of the day, and I told one person this: the poorest man could be the richest man in the room.
Explain that.
No one really, the poorest man has nothing. He is content, he's happy where he's at. And I've seen many people that are homeless on the street, when you offer them help, they say, no, I'm fine. Because they know the stress levels of getting back into society, moving into an apartment house, going back, interviewing for a job, being a professional on a job, performing well on a job, meeting someone, marrying them, taking care of a family, the stress level goes up tenfold.
Wow.
So most homeless people that I've met and have given food to, when I asked them, what were you? I was an engineer. I was a teacher. What happened? My wife divorced me. My mother got sick. I had gambling debt. And they just felt comfortable to walk the street, sleep on the pavement, on the train, and they are content in that world.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, when I see and observe people on Clubhouse, I really feel sorry for them, because you are spending literally 5-6 hours talking. Now if they have their business automated, if they have a team in another building working for them and they are making money passively, that's great. But what are you really gaining from people hearing you talk consistently throughout the day?
Wow.
I really don't think it adds any value. I'll keep my phone on alert to listen to you and other leaders that I respect, Roland, Marie, Ingrid. These are people that I respect. We have each other's phone numbers. We would email each other and would give a support to one another. We're not here to break each other down. So at the end of the day, people have to realize what is the value of being on Clubhouse. Why?
My goodness. Wow, you just dropped
amount of time.
Wow, you just dropped that. Ooh.
Too much more, but I'll stop for now.
No, this is good. You're making me think, because wow, what you observed, it's this is what I would say for me. If I have no business doing this, I would not be here, because this is just a slice of my work, right? So I've built an academy that serves people who want to go to the next level, who want to build a long-term, sustainable, successful business. I'm involved in other things that exposes me to a different type of life. Okay. And I've built a bridge that allows people that want to, if you want to cross over, that's part of the work. That's why I'm here. But I will tell you, okay, people like me don't want to be on social media. But I'm saying I'm committed, because I've built a bridge for people who want to cross over. That's why I keep showing up and sharing these lessons, just so people know, if you want to cross over, you don't have any excuse. There's knowledge. There are courses, programs, platforms that will help you go from where you are to where you want to be, if you want it. And that's the message. I'll keep coming. I'm committed to delivering that if message. If you're going here, there's a plane. It's like the airline. The airline will announce every hour. For example, here in Chicago, every hour in Chicago here, there is a flight taking off from Chicago to New York every single hour. So if your destination is New York, if your destination is New York, there's a flight ready to take off every hour from Chicago to New York. That's all I'm here to say. If you want to build a successful business, if you want to go up the success pyramid, if there are programs, if you want to export, if you want to participate in trade and investment, there are programs, there are platforms that I've created, there are events, there are masterclasses that I teach that will equip you, empower you, educate you to go up. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm building a community to say if, but it's conditional, because I am not here to impose anything on any, which is part of what I shared last week about persuasion and selling. Never persuade, my own principles, right? Never persuade people against their will. So to your example, Mr. Kenny, right? Can you imagine? You said the homeless people you see on the street, you give them food. That's what they need. Give them. But the moment you start trying to sell them a better life, you already said it, Mr. Kenny, they are content. Isn't that what you said? You said they are content where they are. They've settled. So just keep giving them what they need, what they aspire. Just give it to them, because at the end of the day, they have to want that life and be ready to invest their time, energy, and do the work to get that life that you actually desire for them. But they have to desire that. And this is the critical thing that I've seen, even in faith, is that no matter what God wants for his children, and this is what I'm seeing again. No matter what he desires for me, what if I don't want it? May God not leave us alone. That's why we have to match. We have to match God's desire for us. We have to match it with energy, with dedication, with the work ethic. Is that even in the Bible, we talk about the children of Israelites moving from Egypt. God's desire was the promised land. He said it, he promised it, he got them close. And when it was time, the spies went in, they evaluated, they saw 10 spies says, you know what, that giant, we are not ready for the giants. They said, we are like ants. That must have been the most frustrating thing for Joshua and Caleb. Joshua and Caleb were like, let's go. A certain mindset said, you know what, we want it, but we're not ready to work for it. And God, at the end of the day, a place he had prepared for them that had their name tag, that you were so close to. How painful would that be? You've made the journey all the way. For us immigrants, you came all the way, thousands of miles. You let go of who you were. You came here, you struggled. You are now here. You are close. The next step for you to the next level is not, it's so close, it's so here. It's another level of knowledge. It's another level of exposure. Yet, people are like, you know what, Toyin, thank you. Or Toyin, go and bring it for us. I'm like, me? No. I'm living my life. I am living my life. I am pursuing my own dreams. I'm just saying, if you want this, enroll, sign up, do this. That's all. But like you said, Mr. Kenny, you just painted a picture that I'm still like, my head is still spinning, because, what you just described in terms of what you've experienced is that they will, when you offer, even though you could offer to say, let's get you a resume, let's get you this, let's get you up, Mr. Kenny, that at some point, if they don't put in the work, you become what do you become on that journey, Mr. Kenny? Can you respond? Like, let's play this out. Let's say you want to persist and get them that life that you are dreaming for them, and yet they don't want it. Help us understand what that scenario would look like.
Once you play a role of being the giver,
Mm-hmm.
someone, you have money, you have food, you have clothes to give to someone, most of them would respond in kind. They want to receive this gift. But in the back of their mind, as we are trained in our society, you're thinking, well, if you're giving me this, what do you want from me? Right? If you go to a homeless family or a old man on the street and you give them food, yes, you don't want anything back from him. But if you give them clothes, if you bring them to a hotel, they shower, they dress in new clothes, most people think, well, what do you want
What
from me?
next?
My response would be, what do you need me to give you?
Wow.
What do you need me to give you? Do you want a job? Do you want to stay in this hotel? Do you want to stay in this basement apartment? What is it you need to feel better about yourself? And slowly but surely, you'd see them open up and talk about their family. I'll give you one example.
Okay.
When I was working, this was probably 12 years ago, I was working in an emergency room as a nurse assistant. And long story short, a homeless man came in, big, fat, white homeless man, long beard, gray hair. He came in and he was on the street for a year. He spent his first year on the street. So myself and a nurse, We started to undress him. We put all of his old clothes in bags to throw out. We peeled without being too graphic. We peeled his socks back, and the socks was stuck to his toes.
Oh.
We got him upstairs. We cleaned him up. We got him upstairs. And I said to him, I said, I'm coming back to work the next shift. I will bring you some clothes. Now, of course, I'm a tall, lean gentleman. I'm not big and fat, so I didn't have the clothes that he could fit in terms
Mm.
of pants. His mother was there.
Wow.
And I walked in the floor the next day with a bag with a big sweater and
Oh.
a few t-shirts,
Mm.
and you could see him holding back the tears, right?
Mm.
So let's just reverse a little bit. Where was he before he became homeless? He was a Polish business owner that had a restaurant,
Oh my.
married a woman, and sometime in the marriage, I guess she got bored, and she divorced him and took him for everything. He
Mm.
lost the restaurant and the house that
Oh.
he shared with her. The rest of his family, because he was a success, they did not reach out to him and say, "Hey, we heard you're going through a divorce. Come and live with us."
Oh.
So now you have the family members turning their back on him. Up to this day, I still remember his face. I hope before I leave this world, I get to see him and just have the conversation again.
Oh.
But when we see people down on their luck,
Mm-hmm.
homeless or alcoholism or drugs, you have to ask yourself, what what
What
were they?
happened?
What
What
was their
happened?
success before that happened?
Mm.
And we in turn have to be grateful for where we are
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our own present time.
Right.
So it's really important to cultivate that relationship, but also realize this, that even when you are successful, people are really not happy for you.
Oh, that's
Here,
that's another
because
topic.
what hurt me was when he told me
Wow.
his family is in Florida. He has brothers and family in Florida. When they heard that he went through the divorce, when they heard that he was on the street, nobody came to find him.
Mm.
But when he had
That's
the restaurant, when he had the house, they would have conversations, but for some reason he kept away from them, and that's the wrong decision. Even as you grow into your success, you're author, business owner, musician, whatever it is,
mm-hmm.
it's good to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Show up. Spend some, as my beloved mother, who's alive still tells me, come spend time with the family. I'm like, Mom, I gotta work in my company, gotta work in my company, gotta work in my company.
Mm.
She said, come and just spend time at the barbecue. Sit
Mm.
down. And I'm thinking, the 3 hours I could be sitting down, Toyin.
Mm.
Jeez, I could be
Yeah.
reviewing charts, I could be online, I could be doing email. But in truth, it wouldn't kill me. The
Mm.
summer's here, right? It wouldn't kill me to show up at a barbecue, you know, talk a little bit, have a beer. But we cannot separate ourselves from our family once God is blessing us to be
Mm-hmm.
elevated
Mm-hmm. I
financially
agree. I
in
agree.
stature. We at times try to make that
Mm.
one Sunday, that one Saturday, and
Wow.
just visit someone and see how they're doing. Because
Wow.
at the end of the day, all that success is great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot shun or be so busy
Right.
around the
Right.
people that you're related to.
Right. I agree with that. You've brought so many things to light, which I think will inform even some of the other topics, right, in the future. You've talked about family, community, right? So it's so important wherever you're going, really, at the end of the day, okay? As you move up the pyramid of success, you need to make sure you have a support system around you, right? People talk about that. It actually takes investment. All of these things, nothing nothing happens by default. If you do nothing, you get nothing. If you don't invest in certain relationships, how will those relationships, right, invest back in you? I always use this analogy of a bank, right? Because the beauty of this community life series is because we all get to decide where this conversation is going. So I bring a topic, but we are discussing, right? So thank you for sharing that. Is that if you don't deposit money in a bank, the day you show up and you say you want to collect, what are you collecting? And relationships are like that, like for me. So even in business, I find out that most people are takers. They keep coming saying, Toyi, Toyi. I'm like, who are you? Where are you coming from? Do I know you? You've not invested in your, you've not, like, and so I am conscious. I am very, very conscious that before I collect, before I reach out, before I ask, I give. I will give. This is my own principle. I'll give my time. I will listen. I will serve. The day I say I'm going to collect, nobody says no. And that's why I'm able to move and do incredible things in the world, because have invested in so many relationships all across the world. So if I want to get anything done now, it's a phone call away. Why? I keep serving, I keep investing, I keep showing up, I keep encouraging so many people. And because of that, if I want anything, if I want to meet anybody anywhere in the world, I will just pick up my phone. Hey, ring, ring. I'll collect. Unfortunately, it's a rule of success as well. Most people want to take where they've not invested. The same thing is true in building a multi-million dollar business. It's like, what structures are you putting in place? I mean, there's a lot of questions. These are the things I cover at the academy, right? It's a structured approach. What's the size of the market? What's the potential of growth of what you're doing? Is it scalable? Right? This is the mindset. How many people can you serve with your product and your services? Because once it's a numbers game, once you take the calculator and you say, what's the journey to $1 million? Your product, your services, your customer base, your brand, your marketing, your this, your reach, put all those things together. If you show me right now what you're doing, I can quickly tell you if this is $1 million or not. If it has the potential, we can do a projection. This is mathematics, guys. All we have to do is multiply product, price, customers, reach, potential, and in the next 5 years, I can tell you if what you're doing will get you there. Very simple. It's a mad game. That's why I always teach. Like, even yesterday, I did the mindset of an entrepreneur on my academy. I said, be less emotional, more technical in your approach in building a business. It's a technical game. It's a technical approach. And that's why it requires knowledge, skill, capacity building, right? Because you have to engineer $1 million business. You don't stumble on it. You have to engineer your success. Because as long as you're accessing what's common to everybody, you will get the average of what everybody's doing. The moment you say you want to do something exceptional, you will have to invest yourself in exceptional spaces, exceptional knowledge that is not common, information that is not readily available. And that's what I see. The most successful people in the world, they are the ones in yacht club, golf clubs. They gate themselves, and the conversations they are having looks very different than what I'm hearing on Clubhouse. Very, very different. The conversations we are having in those rooms, in those spaces, the research paper and research documents we're flipping through, the things we are signing, the conversations we are having, I would say, like that's why I said, if I weren't doing this work, if I didn't create this academy, I had to create this academy as a bridge, right? And if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be here announcing and talking and doing this work. But I'm realizing that the gap is actually getting wider. We're talking about Web3 right now. The gap, the knowledge gap, is only going to get wider because so many people in the world, they're waiting for somebody to come and lift them, give them that information free, advise them, coach them, guide them for free. On whose back? No. What is free is what you can access around you. Google, YouTube, social media, that stuff is available to everybody. Yes, they're amazing content. I even use it as well. But I'm saying what I'm talking about today is not what I got on social. I had to make some more heavy investments in certain spaces for me to be sitting and having this conversation. And unfortunately, again, we are being conditioned. We are being conditioned to believe that the scraps and things being dropped everywhere is what will take us to where we want. And I'm busting that bubble. I'm saying I don't believe it. Because if that is true, you know how they say, if wishes were horses, we will everybody will be top 1%. The question is, what we should be asking, what are they doing? What is Elon Musk eating? What is he reading? What is Bill Gates reading? What is Jeff Bezos? What books are they reading? What schools? What experts do they surround? Because we see the outcomes and their results, but we're not asking those questions. We're not asking, one of the things I say is when we ask the right questions of ourselves and of other people, it will lead us to the right answers. But the right question is, what is differentiating them? What knowledge do they have? There's one thing in terms of the vision you see. What even informs and shapes that vision is your sense of possibility. And what governs sense of possibility is exposure. Because if you are exposed to people in NASA, you will wake up one day and say we're doing the same thing NASA is doing. That's Elon Musk for you. He was exposed to that world. When he started his batteries and he started supplying, government, he was exposed to the world of NASA. And I'm sure he probably woke up, what you guys are doing, my engineers can pull it off. And we will do it in such a way that what we send to space, we will recycle it. We will do what you cannot do. You've not even pulled off. I will pull together my engineers, because what you guys are doing is not novel after all, because I've been exposed to your world. All that is required is a bunch of exceptional engineers, financing, investors. I have investors, I have engineers. Let me put them to work. It becomes as easy as that. The moment you are exposed to $1 million thinkers, to people doing exceptional things in the world, it becomes achievable to you. One of the things I try to do is demystify success. Success is available to anybody that practices its principles. Success, quote me, success is attainable and achievable the moment you adopt the principles to any man, any woman, anywhere in the world. When you practice the principles that the most successful people practice, you become successful. Period. And if you don't practice it, you get what you get. That's what I've seen. It's mindset, it's exceptionalism, it's rigor, it's knowledge, it's education, it's exposure, it's networking. And the human mind, we are sponges. If I take you and I drop you in the middle of the financial district in New York, and I come back 2 years from now, you will also be in Wall Street. If you start living and dining with people on Wall Street, very, very soon, you too will join them. If I drop you on a yacht and you start living with people that are doing and building real estate, I'm telling you, if I come and check you 5 years, you will own properties. You will, because osmosis, exposure, the way they talk, the way they think, we all imbibe those things. It's who we are. It's who we are. And if I take you and I drop you on Clubhouse and all you're doing is going into those rooms Mr. Kenny was describing, you become the average of everything they're doing in that room. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, right? If you have dreams to do A, B, C, D, right? Move closer to, move closer, find those people, go and find them. You realize that they're not on Clubhouse. They're in gated communities, they're in chambers of commerce, they're in spaces, networks, certain spaces that, and the reason I'm sharing this is because in one format, I have the academy as a bridge, I have the International Trade Network as a bridge. I'll bring it out here. But people don't know. When I close this out now, I'm done. I move on to my life, right? So anyway, that's what today is really about, is that I have seen that a certain mindset, the knowledge you have, right? The exposure, knowledge base. If you say you want to build a multi-million-dollar business, you don't stumble into it. It's by design. You have to engineer for success. How you build what you're building, the mindset, the exposure, the knowledge you have determines the outcome. We can't game that system. It's equal, mathematics, X plus Y equals to Z. That equation is true today. Knowledge you have, exposure you have, the skills you have, the dreams that you have, your aspirations, your access to a network of investors or this or that, plus this times this equal to success. If any of those things are missing, You're not investing in the knowledge that will help you get there. You're not busy acquiring the skills that will help you get there. You're not networking to the people that have gone to the places you're trying to get. You're not exposing yourself to the information that the people there. Please tell me equal to what's that equal to? You get what you get. So I have seen that extremely successful people, they read more than the average person. Please, anybody, because I've seen the poll I put out there. Some people are saying no. I'm like, you already told me you don't know them. You know, there's something that I remember the CEO of Walmart used to do every year. Every year, I believe he sends a stack of books that he reads or he read for the year, and he shares it with his team. You cannot be a CEO and tell me you're not reading. You cannot. You cannot. And you will expose yourself to diverse sciences, psychology, human behavior. The latest research on many topics has to come to their desk. They're consuming that every day. Latest research, sales, marketing. That's it every day. Because when you expose yourself, if you commit to doing that work that I'm talking about today, come December, your game will change. Your game will change. Everything will change. It's simple. And if you don't, right? It's education exposes us to new knowledge. And when we have new knowledge, we can acquire new skills. And when we have new skills, we can participate in new opportunities. And when we can participate with new opportunities, we will be rewarded. I'm trying to demystify and make this thing very, very simple. But that's what I've seen as well. So thank you so much. Any other thoughts before I start wrapping up for today? Thank you, everyone that is joining. Andrea, Feline, Jelando, Denise, Elijah, Shkoda, Synergy. Yeah, Daniel, you on mic. Yes, go on, please.
All right. Yeah. First, I'm gonna say that this has been an amazing conversation, Tony and Kenny. Even from the onset, you were saying a lot of things, and bringing it back home to building a multi-million-dollar business, okay, multi-million-dollar mindset to build million-dollar business. I want to say this to you, Madam Tony, is that because of what social media is, right? Social media is more of a consumer-based society, where people just come to feed. I see it as individuals are being used as pawns in a game of chess.
Wow.
Right? I see it just like it's more of an algorithm thing. Some days ago, about 3 days ago, someone came to meet me at the restaurant. They were like, "Hey, Daniel, want to transfer our business?" And they asked me some strategic questions, and I said to them, "You see, those who you see that have achieved where you want to be, or the big figures you're releasing and you're celebrating, there's something common among all of them." And they were like, "What?" I said, "It was something they understood mastery." I don't just mean mastery in their field, but they understood their own mastery, their self-mastery. They control their own algorithm, right? There's this quote I saw somewhere that said, "If you do not obey yourself, you will serve others."
I love that. Let hold on. If you do not obey yourself, you will serve others. That is incredible. Go on, please.
Right. You should be able to control your own algorithm. And then I think I started practicing from like mid of last year, right? Like, for example, you come online, let's you want to go to nazaru.academy, for example, right? And then I just click on it, and all of a sudden, let's say I'm having a conversation with the person on WhatsApp earlier on, and then let's say someone the person responded, a friend just responded. And the notification thing, right? We were always prone to, okay, let me just check the message quickly, then I come back to know. That's the algorithm controlling you.
Oh my gosh, you're saying it, Daniel, you're moving so fast. Slow down. You're dropping a few things there. Slow down. Okay, you talked about notification. Do you know that my notifications are turned off? Like, particularly you talked about WhatsApp. I cannot be bothered. Go on.
And then you see the pop-ups that comes up. What is our blog? What is news? The media is just a consumer-based society. They're controlling you. The algorithm is just to control us. But if you want to make a $1 billion business, right? The folks that are big, the people who celebrate actually, they control their own algorithm. Okay, I want to go to WhatsApp. I'm going to spend 1 hour on WhatsApp. It is there. It's just an hour. They get an alarm for that. I want to go to YouTube. I want to learn this. I began to tell people, okay, The only reason from henceforth I said to myself that I would go to YouTube is because I want to watch Y Combinator, right? I want to watch the Shark Tank. I want to watch something directly involved in venture capitalism or private equity funding. I need to control my own algorithm, right? I need to get rid of the sirens and the distractions. And then there was also something you said. You were talking about people being in ecospheres of okay. Before I even move down there, even you see your folks coming to Clubhouse, Twitter, and then you see everyone just forget. I want to use this word cruise. It's called cruise, right? They call it vibes and cruise. Just chit chatting and just being happy. It eventually you're gonna come, and then by December will come, you still be in the same place because you, in as much as you want greatness. I think it was Ken that was talking about it. You might want greatness. You might want to be big in your life. Obviously, everyone wants it, but guess what? Hunger is not enough to get you where you want. For real, it comes with something. You have to be passionate about your hunger. For real, there's a difference between being hungry about success and passionate about the hunger of that success. Right? It's not just also enough to be in that ecosphere of greatness. You could be, I really see this. People are. Well, I say people are in great places, but not everyone in great places attain greatness too. It also gives us something that there's an aspect of passionate about that which you want to get, right? Aspect of extra push. It's called grit. I said to someone just earlier this morning, I said to the person, if you want to attain growth in anything you're doing, you should be disciplined towards your growth and passionate about your hunger and focus towards your vision, right? You should be really disciplined as to saying, okay, I want to get this, no matter what it's going to take me, no matter what I'm going to do. And I also get to see something amongst, I think I saw it on YouTube, talking about, I think it was Michael Savi talking about our top 10% of founders. He said there's something common among all of them is grit and tenacity, right? So there are a couple of founders that come to them, there are a couple of startups, but the one who's able to say, okay, no, I want to do this, and then he does it. The one that's able to go all in into building his business, right? That goes to passionate. That's passion plus hunger, right? And then rather than being in the consumer-based society, rather than letting our algorithm control you, you should control the algorithm. And for yourself too, you said that you're on social media because you're trying to create a bridge. I want to say something. I want to make it better for you. You are people like yourself, persons like yourself, are not on social media. Yes, you are not. What you guys are doing is you are let me say what you are, a growth system that uses the technology of Clubhouse or Twitter to promote what you are doing. What you give is value. You are not
okay, here's what oh my god, Daniel, you are dropping so much. Give me a moment to react to people who follow me should know this by now, and I'll keep repeating it. Those in my classes, my clients, when I work with them, we build strategy around platforms. I say use social media, don't let social media use you. I'm a strategist. I served as a strategist to the world's largest company, Fortune 1. We don't behave the way I see people behave. Everything is a tool to help you. It's like fork and knife. If you want to eat food, right? Eat social media. It's LinkedIn. It's Twitter. It's Clubhouse. Use these tools. It is incredible. They make our life. Can you imagine building a multi-million-dollar business 50 years ago without social media? You will have to carry newspapers. You will have to travel the world. You can't expand. I'm here, and people all over the world can reach me. Incredible. I am a technologist. I have a background in information system, master's in I'm a technologist first. So when I see technology, I will maximize it. I see it for what it is. I see the power of Clubhouse, of YouTube, of LinkedIn. I see their power, and I will use them to step. But I am saying the default is you will be used. If you do not apply strategic planning and put it where it belongs. Everything is a system. Let me also share a few things, and then I feel like I have a tip for you too, Daniel. So So when it comes to a lot of times, people say, "Toy, how come you can do different things?" You were talking about act yourself, right? Know your performance level, know what gets you to thrive. You have to on this journey, you have to lead yourself first before you start saying lead anybody. Before I can do this and offer any tips to everybody, I've offered it to myself. So as example, time management is part of the game plan 12 strategies for winning, your daily plan, right? So let me even not talk about that, but let me just say even the week. I have on my calendar, there are days where I allocate for certain things. So for example, my series ends today because on Fridays, there are certain things I do on Fridays. Only on Fridays. Only on Fridays, because I do not want to be disrupted. My Mondays through Thursday, when I'm doing certain things, I cannot be bothered. The same thing is true when it comes to Clubhouse and all these SMS messages, people. I just pile those things. I don't respond. And I know some people are watching me. I don't respond to other people's emergency. Your emergency is not my emergency. That's part of it. Your emergency is not my emergency. Unfortunately, many people want to make their emergency your emergency. No, I will pack it, I will accumulate it. On certain days of the week, I will respond. Because I'm living my life. I'm not living my life for anybody. Right? So I have systems in place. My membership, my clients, they will send me certain things. When I am ready, according to my allocation on my calendar, I will go in, pull all the emails, respond to them, and I move on to my life. Before then, I'm not available. People don't pay me enough. If you've not paid me enough to disrupt me, don't disrupt me. Send it. I would check it when I'm available. Like, these are principles you have to adopt for yourself. Otherwise, everybody will be telling you, jump social media. I sent you a message. No. Cool down. Give me time, right? But so here is also where the balance comes in. I've also worked in the industry where we have a rule called the sundown rule, meaning you need to signal before the end of the day certain things. So for me, I'm living somewhat of a middle. The extreme is you're jumping up, you're trying to do certain things. I'm not living in that world. I did not leave corporate to create another emergency for myself. No. So when I was in corporate, there are certain things you're jumping every day. It's like you're jumping it's like the fire on the mountain, fire drill every day. I see it, I've lived it. I'm not trying to create that for myself right now. So that's why I understand the world of fast-paced emergency 247 firefighting. I've lived it and I've left it behind. I'm not trying to recreate a business that I'm in control of. I'm the boss. So that's another thing I just wanted to put out there, is that if you don't control your time, your calendar, your signals, you are giving that control away every single day to platforms, to triggers, to net, notifications, all of those things. No. So let me share with you a tip, Daniel, just in observing you and what you shared right now. You are taking in a lot of information, which is fantastic. You are drinking. My recommendation to you is, as much as possible, start implementing ideas. Like, test you, because here's the key. Knowledge is step one. Testing out that knowledge and implementing it is the next level. So give yourself time. And one of my clients, one of the things I told her was, just block one day of the week. Give it as a gift to yourself to start implementing the ideas that you have within you. Because this is what happens. Most people would consume information and say, I don't have time. I'm saying, make the time. The reason I'm doing this session is because I had to adjust my calendar. If it's to wake up earlier, wake up 1 hour, 2 hours earlier in the day and give yourself that 1 hour, 2 hours. Do you understand? Go to bed early or earlier. Wake up earlier, and the extra 1 hour, 2 hours, put it into practicing certain things. Because that's what I feel like would be next for you, is you're taking in information a lot. Find outlets contribute to other people's projects or build your own projects. Find yourself in spaces where you can practice the knowledge. I'm telling you, that's where the skill and mastery comes from practicing. Mastery doesn't just come from knowledge alone. So if I teach you brand strategy, what I take my clients to do, I'll say, okay, now that I've taught you, I would say, apply that on your website, on your social media, and then send me the link. I want to see it. That's what we do at the Business and Leadership Academy. So when my clients come in, like I remember last week, Friday, one of my clients, if you're watching, I won't mention your name, right? We were talking about some of our profiles, our bio. And I said, let's go on Instagram right now. Let me see what you wrote on Instagram. She was like, really? Yes. So we searched. She was on. I took my phone, went to our Instagram, and right there and then we started brainstorming. Okay, write this. No, write that. And within a few minutes, we redesigned our profile on Instagram. And she was like, I'm good to go. So that's the practice that I do with my clients. It's not enough to just know. You need your Instagram page or your website to portray who you are. The key is practice, or even your Clubhouse page. We all know your Clubhouse bio should reflect certain things. Unfortunately, even when I teach, what I now do is I'll hold people accountable. Send me your link. I want to check it out. And by that time, people now, my clients will go, Toyi is going to ask me, so I better get to work. And that's what I'm finding is that if people are not ready to do the work, if people are not ready to build, how can you tell me you want to build a multi-million-dollar business and you're not ready to do multi-million-dollar job or work for your business? Branding, marketing, sales. You will show up. You will show up. You will market. You will sell. You will pursue it. Because where we are going, right? For those in my academy, you know where we're going, right? So Dr. Roslyn says application and implementation. Yes. Knowledge first. You will pay to acquire exceptional knowledge because you want to build something exceptional that is not average. You will implement, you roll up your sleeves and get to work and do the work. You will practice, you will test. The results, if it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board, you will tweak it again, you come back, test it again. If it doesn't work, you have to keep iterating until it's perfected. In fact, perfection only comes through repetition. Perfection comes from repetition. Yet, perfectionists will not repeat, will not try, will not even attempt, and they're saying, oh, because I don't know this, I'm not going to try. You will not, there's no progress in that. Perfection of anything, mastery, perfection of anything, engineering, this is a principle of life, only comes after repetition. Go on, Mr. Daniel, as I'm wrapping up today.
I was like that's massive. You when you talked about the profession, talk about professionals. That's so true.
Yes,
that's so true. And if I'm getting from the tip you just gave to me, I think I'm being able to understand something. You kind of saying I should go into more like creator economy.
Just start. Listen, Daniel, let me keep it simple. Daniel, sorry to interrupt. I rarely do that. I'm trying to convey a message to you, but I think maybe it's not clear enough. My assessment of you, just briefly now, you are drinking from the fire hose. You are drinking like knowledge. Okay? I knew that because when you were speaking, in fact, you were speaking so fast, right? Because your mind is moving at the speed. That's another thing. Maybe this is where when I coach people privately, those are the things we work on. The speed at which you were speaking told me your processing power. Okay, people don't understand this. People don't understand. I have a computer, right? You were speaking so fast because you are loaded. You are carrying a lot of knowledge. You've consumed a lot. I know because I can tell the difference. Okay. My point or my recommendation to you is deploy that knowledge. Start something small. Start a small project, a side project for yourself that you can test out that knowledge for yourself. Start building something, anything. Start deploying, using that knowledge in the real world. Go from metaverse to real life. Like, because because this is, let me, because other people can benefit from this. This is what distinguishes PhD people from practitioners. Trust me, PhD people will read books on business, but they've not built a business. So if you know your path, if you want to be PhD in business, then please keep reading and then be theorizing and writing research paper. There are a bunch of research papers written by people that have never built a multi-million-dollar business, and nothing wrong with that. It's a profession. Okay? I am saying, to be a practitioner, you must implement that knowledge. Because PhD people could have written how to build an electric car. That study has been available for a while. How to build an electric car. The theory of it are in books. Elon Musk took that theory and practiced it and is selling it and is now billion. That's what distinguishes people that know how to read and consume. And you feel powerful, you feel intelligent, trust me. You will be spewing, when PhD, oh, we will clap for you. Show me the business you've created. Nothing. That's okay. That's okay. Because PhD people will still bring them to come and tell us the knowledge they've digested. My point to you, Daniel, is if your path is to become a doctor, PhD, because you have it in you. I could tell you have the capacity to consume and digest and synthesize complex data. Just by listening to you, I'm very, very good with understanding where people are coming from and where they're going, right? So I'm just saying, I'm just calling it out. If you want to go the path of PhD, you are there. You are there. You are there. You have it in you. My point is, that is a path. But if your desire is to build, you must be able to take that knowledge and practical. You have to be a practitioner. And that journey requires trial, error, repetition, implementation. Because out of that exercise, you will know what works and what doesn't work. Because before then, everything is theoretical. Hypothesis and theory. Okay? Practical is what I'm saying. It's not enough to tell me it can be done. Have you done it? Will you do it? Do you have the knowledge to pull it off? That's where I'm making that distinction, because you are right there in terms of intelligence, brilliance, like you are that PhD material. That's what I've experienced briefly of you. Your reaction?
I just can't say much other than thank you very much. I think I just went to therapy. So thanks.
Yeah, because somebody like you, okay, I can also tell you, these are the things I prefer to say private. I can also tell you that in many, many ways, in many places you find yourself, you may not feel comfortable in many communities because of your brilliance and intelligence. You'll be speaking things that people will be like, you are too much. You are too much. Go and sit down. So manage that. Don't change who you are. Don't change who you are for anybody. Your exceptionalism is here for the world. We have to, people like you, we need you. We need you to be you, right? Just like you're saying, act yourself. Embrace the intelligence and brilliance and your exceptionalism, and don't let anybody tell you anything, right? I can tell from just listening to you that many people will not understand who you are and where you're going, but I understand you. I can see you. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. And Dr. Rosaline on here says, so true, coach. Thank you. I'm just here. It's just me, Toyi, just sharing what I've seen. And application and implementation, yes. Now it's time to execute. Yes. First of all, I would say acquire exceptional knowledge. What does it take to build multi-million-dollar business? How do you scale? What you're working on, is it scalable? What's the size of the market? What are you going after? How big is it? Your product pricing, your business model, can it scale? The journey to $1 million, it's a math calculation. it's if you bring to me as a client and you show me what you're doing and we look at your entire business, I can draw a projection in terms of where you'll be 3 or 5 years from now. If you continue down this path and we had in some inflation, deflation, projection, growth 2%, 3% every year, it's a math game. It's a math game. But anyway, I won't go into into that too much. Any other thoughts as I'm wrapping up? And I see Pastor Cornelius, you've been hiding in the room. Do you want to come out and announce what we're doing next on Instagram? Pastor Cornelius in the house. Are you coming up stage? We're going to be wrapping this up, and then myself and Pastor Cornelius every Thursday. I'll let him speak. Welcome to the stage, Pastor Cornelius.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach Toyin. You know you do a marvelous
Aw.
job. You've been there, you've done that, and you share what you've been doing, have done, and we are the beneficiaries of your experience and your expertise. I will encourage everyone to follow her on the next platform we are getting on, which will be but we on so many platforms. What are we on next? I'm trying to think.
Instagram.
We're on Instagram. Yeah, we're on Instagram.
We are using Instagram. We are not letting Instagram use us.
Yeah, we'll be on Instagram, and she will be going over some of the game planning more in depth of what she shares with us.
Yes.
Today. So I'm
yes.
grateful for that, and I encourage all of y'all, if you can't, share this room with someone and tell everybody 10:30 Central, 10 o'clock, well, 10:30 now,
Yeah.
10:15 Central Standard Time. We'll be on Instagram for a few more weeks talking about the game plan, and all of us need to know the game plan.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and I'm grateful.
Oh, thank you, Pastor Cornelius. How's your week been, though? Good? I know you hold a daily show yourself.
Yeah, oh, we doing good. Yeah, everything that we talk about on the game plan, every time I listen to you, I implement and try to take those strategies and nuggets and just continue to, as you say, practice. And as a matter of fact, from some of the things that we've talked about, the power of clarity, just this week, from doing some things with the power of clarity, I've had 2 investors into the show. If they've been small,
no, it doesn't matter. Trust me, this is good news.
They've sold into the business model.
Wow.
And I'm actually yesterday, and this is not about me to the stage, but yesterday I was actually able to talk with some representatives with the mental health department of the state of Tennessee.
Oh, Pastor Cornelius. I've been pushing, our after show conversation last week. I was like, it's easy. Do this. And Pastor Cornelius was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so just I'm ready to hop on if you want to hop on, if you want to stay here.
Yes, no. I'm going to close this out and then we'll do our stuff on Instagram. Wow, thank you. I love. So please, okay, if you've been following me and hearing all the strategy, as you're implementing it, let me know what's working and what's changing, okay? Because it encourages me, because sometimes I'm like, why am I even doing this? Why am I sharing all these things? Why am I putting my business out there? Like, really? So when I hear, for example, what Pastor Cornelius just said, it makes me really happy. I'm filled with joy, because at the end of the day, if I sow a seed, if I share a knowledge and it works for you, share it, let other people know how you're implementing, because I'm rooting for Pastor Cornelius. There are certain things he wants to do, and I'm saying, go. That's one thing I do really well at. If there's anything, my friends in real life, not this virtual world, my friends in real life, they know who to call if they need some cheer, right? So thank you, everyone, for joining today. I'm heading over to Instagram with my co-host, Pastor Cornelius, where we're going to be talking about the Game Plan 12 Strategies for Winning, which is a leadership and success coaching program I launched. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been sharing and really inspiring people. Specific, it's very structured, right? There are 12 strategies for winning. I believe we're on maybe strategy 6 or something, about how to take your ideas and implement your ideas. Funny enough, That's what I've been trying to talk about today. So, one of the strategies for winning is implementing ideas. How do you take concepts and ideas that God has given you, has given us, and how do we bring it into the real world? It's a strategy. People who can do that and not just tell us, oh, we're going to the moon, and then 10 years later, we've not seen anything, right? Oh, I'm going to change. We all say that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But the real successful people will say it and do it. And even that's what God does. He says things that are not as if they were. Right? He says things, he says the hand from the very beginning. He will tell us he's going to do ABC and then he will reverse engineer, which is a principle that I encourage people to practice. I practice a lot of biblical principles as well. So join us up onto Instagram shortly. Myself and Pastor Cornelius will be kick-starting this week's session on the game plan 12 strategies for winning. Thank you so much. On that note, I'm going to close out for today here. It's been a pleasure. Let me know where you're joining from. Reach out to me. Head over to the Business and Leadership Academy if you really want to dive into the world of business and acquire the strategies and skills to build a successful business long term. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye.